Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Learned Black Magic from a Powerful Spirit. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, remember to go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was from all the clans and taken by Obito. So go ahead and enjoy that guys, and also, over Anime King 2 I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto was banished to the Forbidden Lands. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy it as well guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support, and yeah. Without further ado, remember to go ahead and click that red subscribe button, turn on that bell notification, links will be down in the description for Anime King 2 and 3, so go ahead and enjoy those guys, and yeah. Without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, as Naruto was making his way to the academy, people really despised the fox in his hand. The fact was that people did not know that he was Naruto yet, as it seems that the word hadn't spread yet, but the fox, it seems like even seen a mention of the beast, angered the people of Konoha, but Naruto did not care one bit, as he walked proudly, unafraid of any of them. It's not like any of them could actually hurt him or anything like that. So with that, he made his way towards the academy, as it was a time for the genuine tests. Arriving there as he introduced himself, as people started to give him a wide berth when he heard who he was, as it was rather quick for them to change. But Naruto did not care, it seems. So with that, the genuine test was given as the written part was given. He really hated written tests, as he was to face off against Mizuki around the back, sparring and kunai throwing. He got excellent on all of them, but there wasn't a point after all. He could literally cause wild-scale destruction. He was more a destructive type, but as he faced off against Mizuki tried to hurt him. His rage for the fox as Aruka turned his head. His parents were killed by the demon, so he was angry as well. But Naruto made sure to put Mizuki in a whirl of pain by kicking him right between the nuts, causing him pure pain and agony. So with that out of the way, he ended up passing the test as Harrison already told him to pass Naruto, as Mizuki was sent to the hospital. The next day, as Naruto embarked, he met up with Team 7 as Kakashi was about to give them the test to part, as Kakashi had tried to mess with Naruto's doll the other day, so Naruto had turned him into a toad and locked him away. He did the same thing for the members of the Undos as he froze them, and froze the members of the council as well, into solid statues, as it would wear off in a couple of hours. As he had the Kyuubi doll chase Kakashi around in his frog form, who were scared shitless, as the experience was terrible for Kakashi, and it brought a deep-seated hatred inside of him, as he wanted Naruto to literally die for what he did. But Naruto did not seem to care, as he enjoyed making the man suffer. He enjoyed causing torment to Konoha overall. So with that, some months passed as it was finally time for them to embark on something higher than a D-rank mission, as Kakashi believed that this was the opportunity. After all, Genins died a lot on missions. After all, the unknown. The world was big and wide. Sometimes things happen out of someone's control. And Kakashi was still furious about what Naruto had put him through. There was a lot of anger and rage there, but Naruto seemed to be enjoying every single second of it. So with that, they embarked towards the Land of Wave, as the demon brothers end up showing themselves trying to attack the group as they shredded Kakashi, as Naruto formed Wing, as he grabbed them up in the wind attack, Their bodies were shredded, their limbs were cut. They dropped in a pile of blood and mess as he stood there, nonchalant, not really caring. As Tetsuna realized that Naruto was much stronger than he thought. But they were not really of a threat or problem, as Naruto wanted a real challenge. So, yes, he needed something really good to fight. Kakashi then arrived back on the scene, showing that he was perfectly fine, as Sakura was surprised as she thought that he had been torn to shreds. So yeah guys, that's basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place to check over yourself, so what do you say we begin this new episode? Let's get right into it guys. Kakashi appeared back, much to Sakura's relief, that he hadn't been shredded into pieces. What? You're too lazy to fight too. It's bad enough that you're too lazy to train us, said Naruto, as Kakashi glared at the blonde, before he turned towards Sakura and Sasuke. Good job Sakura and Sasuke. Defending the client like that, Naruto. Why didn't you step in sooner? Sasuke could have gotten hurt in close quarter combat. As Naruto blinked in surprise, he really had to recollect his thoughts. He looked towards his doll, wondering if he was hearing correctly. Did the man really just ask him that? He looked towards the man. What? You want a demolition specialist to attack targets in close quarter, with the Uchiha ear so close? Are you mad? I could have killed him, said Naruto. You know, I really should have done that instead. He mumbled the last one to his doll, as Kurama snickered a bit. Kakashi walked over as he interrogated their client. The man broke down. It seems like a rich wealthy man didn't want the bridge to be built, as he tried to guilt trip them, saying that his grandson was going to miss him when he died. As Sakura started to tear up, Sasuke was just standing there, looking rather bored. Same for Naruto as he yawned. When asked if they want to continue the mission, Naruto was one that spoke first. I want to get a challenge, sometime or another. I get bored when I'm not pushed to my limits, said Naruto. Sasuke agreed right afterwards, as he wanted to show up Naruto in his own game, to show him that he's a better person overall. After all, he was a Uchiha, a superior person in every single way. It doesn't matter which category, as the blonde was not affected by his last name like most of the village. Damn it, he was the last Uchiha, and he better know that. Sakura was deathly afraid of going into combat again. But Sasuke agreed, so she agreed as well. And besides, Sasuke would save her if they were to go into combat again, right? Well, let's just let her continue dreaming. So with that, they made their way as they got on the boat. Sakura was in awe as she saw the massive bridge. The thing was large, as it was high above the water. 2 hours later, as they were walking towards the client's home, the mist was so heavy. It was early in the afternoon, so this was not normal one bit. Naruto knew this, as well as Kakashi, but Sasuke and Sakura. Sakura was just worried about what the mist would do to her hair. Sasuke was pissed off at the mist. It was aimed to block out the sunlight, when he, a Uchiha, could not do so, seeing that the sunlight was causing him problem earlier. And it was hot, but now the mist was blocking it out. Why couldn't he have the power to do so? As Naruto was hoping whoever caused this mist would off the two, but he knew that Kakashi would jump in and save them. But he could have dreams and hope, couldn't he? Damn it. As he started to scratch the stomach of crime as he waited for who created the mist to attack them. As both Naruto and Kakashi heard a whipping sound coming through the air. Naruto's hearing had been enhanced from training when Lulu used her Whisper Thunder spells on him, and he had to hear when she was about to say the words, so he could dodge out of the way. It took 4 months and several thousand lightning-induced burns for him to get used to hearing whispers from so far. Get down, Kakashi yelled, as Naruto held onto the doll before he flipped. As he flipped over the giant blade, as it slammed into a tree, a rather tall man with bandage on his mouth appeared right on the hilt. Sharingan no Kakashi. No wonder the demon brothers fail. As Naruto chuckled a bit at that. What are you laughing at, Blondie? As Naruto blinked at the man before glancing over towards Kakashi. Might as well make it easier for him. Hatake dished us to observe in the foliage. I'm hard pressed to think that he would ever fight harder to get anything than his porn novels. As Zabuza looked towards Kakashi, before he broke out into loud laughter as he jumped down and pulled his blade from a tree. Did he? Oh well then, let's see if he will fight harder when his team life is at stake, shall we? Said Zabuza. Naruto placed the Kyuubi doll on top of his head as he stepped forward Actually, I believe he's trying to get me killed, and I'm getting really bored of his pathetic attempts. Plus, I've been looking forward for a chance for a while now. So what do you say, said Naruto. Up for a one-on-one water fight. I haven't had a good challenge for ages. As Zabuza blinked in surprise at the teen, before he laughed even louder. You, fight me. You're just a genin, he said. Naruto shrugged as he raised his arms. Suit yourself, I'll go first. Watery, he said. 3 thick colors of water shot from the ocean. One from the left, one from the right, and one right in the center, shooting towards Zabuza. Zabuza was quite shocked as he had to leap back as they created 3 deep craters as he landed over to the side away from the ocean. But Naruto said the word once again. Only years of experience allowed Zabuza to dodge, as water was literally formed from thin air this time, not out of the ocean to over the left. As he twisted and dodged each of his strikes, as the tree behind him was decimated, he leaped over towards the water side of the clearing as he went through hand signs. Water release, exploding water shockwave. A large wave of water came barreling down on the group. Kakashi grabbed Tazuna and moved off, along with 2 others as Naruto stood there, as he gave impassively at the clearing. And the wave as it came crashing down towards him, he channeled mana through his hand as he flashed his hand in front of him. As the water was slapped aside, Zabuza was quite shocked. He really thought the genin would be written off and killed immediately, but he was able to slap the attack to the side like it was nothing. But Zabuza started to grin, as this teen might even pose a challenge to him, something only Haku seemed to be able to do lately. What do you know? It seems you do have talent. What's your name, boy? As Naruto merely smiled, as he raised his arms over his head as his doll sprung to life, scaring the shit out of Kazuna. He was right. The doll was alive, as Sakura and the others were too busy looking towards the, missing end to notice. A light purple aura flared on Naruto's body. His hair started to levitate upwards from the aura that he was releasing. Naruto. The name is Naruto. Prepare yourself. He slammed both his hands downwards, as the doll on his head mimicked his actions, bringing his hand down on Naruto's head, as the water around him seemed to come alive. As the thing shot up in the air before twisting, it came down like a drill, down towards Zabuza with so much force. Zabuza leaped as he twisted through the trees, moving incredibly fast. Almost 24 trees were flat when the water came down to show the pressure that it carried, crushing the trees down to rubble. Zabuza leaped as he formed a hand sign in mid-air. Water style. Water dragon, he said. He gathered the water that was surrounding the clearing as the jutsu forced it into a rough shape of a dragon. It twisted around Zabuza as it got larger and larger, absorbing more water. It then shot forward towards Naruto. Naruto raised his right hand before he lowered in a chopping motion. The water dragon split down the middle as the water dissipated to the right and left. Zabuza's jaw nearly dropped as he witnessed a feat, one that he only witnessed from his own apprentice. His shock didn't last long though as Naruto retaliated. A pity. It was an interesting technique, but I believe it's time to end this. With that said, the doll jumped off his head. Its tail started to flicker ominously as Naruto started to cast a more powerful spell. The aura became dark. Wind swirled around him as the energy was gathered. It became like a tornado. The water around him started to rose into globs as it formed above Naruto's head. In less than 3 seconds later, the water formed into a massive glob, about 30 feet in diameter, above Naruto's head. As a shout could be heard, "Water G," said Naruto. A 40-foot tidal wave that was easily 20 feet across was formed. It was massive. Zabuza couldn't even get away in time. Not that he could, the way he was paralyzed in shock. As the attack slammed into him viciously, he crashed into a tree trunk hard, breaking through it as he coughed up blood. As Naruto smiled, his bloodlust finally sated, as he let the spell drain. The water drained back in the lake and a few in the air to return back to the water molecules. A hunter then arrived, as needles were stabbed into Zabuza's neck. If he wasn't dead yet, he was gonna die anyways. The hunter then thanked them before taking the corpse away and leaping off. Kakashi was frightened and also frustrated as well, for multiple reasons. First, he had shown exactly why he was a demolition specialist, and he could probably even kill him. Secondly, he had just taken on an A rank missing Nin, and not only live, but he barely seemed to be winded from the massive, elemental manipulation he just pulled off. Without even performing hand signs, he just spoke the words. And finally, he was frustrated because the team did not die, and that his Sharingan could not copy those abilities. It was like chakra was not even flowing through Naruto at all when he used the abilities. Sasuke's face was shadowed by his hair as he was glaring at the ground, in shock, as he still couldn't believe what he just witnessed. Why? Why must he be so weak? Why did the dope of the class had so much power when he, a Uchiha, did not? It didn't make sense. Finally, a thought broke through his mind. What if he got the dope to teach him? Surely he could use those techniques better than dope could. He nodded to himself. Yes, that was simple. He would get those techniques, then he would kill Itachi. As for Sakura, well, she didn't pay attention to the fight at all. She was too busy staring at Sasuke. Tazuna was pointing at the doll that was now in Naruto's arms, unable to form a proper sentence. All that he mounted was doll, alive, not crazy. Out to get me. But the doll was motionless as it was not moving. But no one seemed to, well, believe him, as Kakashi would not say anything and the other two were too busy doing their own thing, so they did not notice. Poor Tazuna. Well, Naruto walked back to the team looking slightly more happier. The crazy thing was he was completely dry. Not even a drop of water had touched him. As Sakura raged that his hair was completely dry, and not to mention it was perfect in these messed up weather. Damn him and his perfect hair. How did he get his hair to be like that? It's better than ours, said inner Sakura, as Naruto cocked his head to the side, seeing them all looking at him. What? He said. Kakashi sighed in frustration, as Sasuke was thinking about a way for Naruto to train him. How would he approach the situation? As Sakura was cursing about his hair, Tazuna was shaking like a leaf in hurricane, still pointing at Naruto's doll. So, shall we continue on to Tazuna's house now, said Naruto. Tazuna nodded as he kept on glancing over his shoulder every now and then, as he could swear the doll was smirking at him. On the way to the house, Sasuke reached his decision. He knew how to approach him. Dope, train me, he said. That was all that he came up with for the past few minutes. Oh, no, said Naruto. If you want training, go and get your sensei to do it. And don't mix me with your petty revenge. Sasuke glared angrily. Why won't you train me, he said. Naruto scratched his chin, as he seemed to be in deep thought. He remained silent for quite a few minutes, with the group glanced towards him as they walked. He then finally spoke. I don't want to, he said. Sasuke nearly exploded in fury. Everyone wanted to train him, so why was this dope refusing to train him? Clearly, the blonde must have not heard about his clan greatness. He was about to explain until Naruto continued. My techniques are personal and I refuse to teach anyone else how to use them. Don't even try to steal them that thief in eye techniques of yours either. My bloodline allowed me to use them without hand signs, meaning you couldn't replicate my techniques without years of trial and failure. Kakashi narrowed his eyes, as no ability like that was able to get around the Sharingan. It was basically elemental techniques. But the crazy thing was Naruto did not use chakra, or else his Sharingan would have seen it. Perhaps he was using the demon energy. Perhaps Naruto was a demon and not the doll. Several thoughts going through his head. But Sasuke need those techniques, he need to be taught. He need to remain to the village, and he need to get stronger as well. So Kakashi will have to force him, but he didn't know how to. As they finally arrived to the house, dinner was quite a quiet affair. The food was delicious though, as his daughter, Tsunami, was quite the cook, but in here he had to spoil things by shouting, "You're all gonna die! No one can stand up to Gato!" He then ran to his room, as Naruto had to stifle the laughter. He really wanted to laugh at that outburst, but then a thought popped into his mind. Yes, that should be quite interesting, he thought to himself. After bidding the family goodnight, he made his way up to his room as he placed up a few warding before he went to sleep. The next morning, as everyone came down, Sakura was pissed off. Even after just waking up, Naruto's hair was perfect, while hers were all over the place, until Kakashi broke the silence. Zabuza is alive, he said, as Naruto started to laugh. You find something funny, said Kakashi, as it was like Naruto was mocking him with the laughter. As Naruto put on an innocent face, but his purple eyes seemed to sparkle a bit. Well, I'm just surprised it took you this long to realize that the hunter ninja was a fake. I was just torn with the man though. I mean, if I really wanted to kill him, I would have used lightning techniques instead of clashing water against water. You didn't think he would die from a water technique, no did you? Said Naruto. The hunter nin placed him in a near-death state by hitting the vital points in his neck. From that severe hit from the water and that pressure point being attacked, I think he'll be out of it for about a week. Kakashi's gaze intensifies. He sent Sakura and Sasuke down to breakfast without them. Saying that he needed to talk to Naruto. The moment they were gone, he snapped his gaze towards Naruto. If you knew he wasn't dead, then why didn't you kill him? Because the man actually has honor, unlike you, thief. I know that you were trying to copy my abilities while I was fighting. Don't you have any grace at all, or do you always copy from your own comrades? Kakashi sputtered a bit at the accusation, as Naruto paid him no mind as he went downstairs. 3 hours later outside, Kakashi said that he was going to train them, finally. As Naruto wanted to laugh, tree walking, that was a basic of every exercise. The basic control engine, and that is what the man was going to teach him to fight Zabuza and his accomplice. How stupid was this man? As he walked up the tree, seeing Naruto looking at him, and with that same look on his face like he was bored. Naruto, since you don't seem surprised at all, how about you go first? As Naruto looked towards the man, with a mocking smirk. Sure thing, Hatake-san, he said. As he walked calmly to the tree, he did not stop to gather any energy, he simply walked all the way up. Before he flipped and landed back on his feet, Kakashi's glare intensified as he decided to put his plan into action. Naruto, can I speak with you for a moment, he said. Naruto simply shrugged, as Kakashi watched as he still held on to the cursed doll. As they went out into the woods, Naruto, I'm ordering you as your sensei to teach Sasuke your techniques. You are far too powerful to be a genin, and Sasuke needs that power to get revenge on his brother. As Naruto was quiet, really thinking this man was now out of his mind. Do you think, if the council can't order me around, that you can? Have you gone delusional? Said Naruto. I'll give you one last warning, Hatake. Do not screw with me. I'm not someone to be trifled with. Let me show you, said Naruto. He snapped his feet forward and slammed it into Kakashi's chest. All the air snapped away from Kakashi's lungs as he was launched away, crashing on the ground as he gasped for breath. Next time. Well, let's hope there's not a next time, said Naruto, as he disappeared into the woods. 6 days later, Naruto was sitting against a tree, his eyes closed, as he worked on blending two elements together. He was almost succeeding, but something was missing. He was broken out of his meditation and someone entered the clearing, with the stealth of a shinobi. The intruder was a bit shorter than him, and looked quite feminine, wearing a pink kimono with a basket in the left arm, and a few herbs were inside of it. Long dark hair as Naruto, eyes were closed. The figure was approaching to shake him awake. Naruto's eyes snapped open as the person stepped back in fright. Sensing no malice, Naruto spoke. Sorry if I scared you, but I don't like being touched. The woman nodded, her brown eyes looking like she understood, as Naruto saw a flash across her face, like she recollect a few memories from the past. I understand, she said. Sorry about waking you. Naruto shook his head as he got to his feet, his doll on top of his head. Don't worry about it, I was awake by the time you entered the clearing. Why are you out here anyway, said Naruto. She seemed surprised that he was feigning sleep the entire time. Oh, I'm gathering medicinal herbs to help someone close to me. Would you like to help? He decided that he might as well, because he knew her but he just couldn't put the memory together. As he started to help her gather the herbs for fast healing and ease in pain, he realized who she was. So, Hunter Nin-san, how is Zabuza-san doing, said Naruto. The girl stiffened and backed away. She hadn't brought any weapons with her, and this boy was terrifyingly powerful. She decided if he hadn't attacked her yet, she might have a chance. He's doing alright, though I'm curious to know, how did you know I was a Hunter Nin? Naruto chuckled as he pulled the fox off his head and settled him on the ground. The herbs you are collecting is the same one I had to use when I was training with my water manipulation. The blunt force of water caused a lot of pain, and the needle tried to use on him to fake that he was dead. would have put some heavy stress on his body. Would you mind if I accompany you back to Zabuza-san? I want to thank him for the challenge he provided for me. I haven't had a good one in a couple of years, said Naruto. As Haku nodded, as she was in fear that if she refused, he would attack her, as she saw what he can do. To her surprise though, the doll lifted one of its tails to lift the basket. He saw her stare. Part of my bloodline allowed me to inanimate objects, said Naruto, giving her a half-truth. When I use stronger techniques, I use my doll to help me in manipulation. Surely, when you were watching the fight, you noticed how it moved. She nodded a bit, still curious about the plush toy. She realized since he told her about his bloodline, she might as well reciprocate. I see, my bloodline allowed me to use Hayaton, ice element techniques. I've never heard about your bloodline before. Is it rare, she asked. I'm the last of my line, I believe. I've been trying to recreate fusion elemental techniques through manipulations, like ice and wood. Perhaps, should we both live through this mission, you could help me with it, said Naruto. She was shocked by that, as she has never found anyone that could recreate her bloodline. After all, she was the last Yuki. I'll think about it. But before we go, tell me, why do you fight? As Naruto looked down, I fight for a promise that I made to one who became my family. I promised her I would take care of myself. She gave a sad nod before replying. I fight for those who are precious to me. To protect my precious people, I will encase my heart in ice and become a true shinobi, if it requires me to do so. By the way, my name is Haku. As Naruto nodded. Precious people, huh? Oh, the name is Naruto, he said. Haku opened the door to Zabuza's room to find Gato berating the man for not killing the bridge builder. As Naruto used mana to let light pass through him, as it looked like he was a wall, Haku moved in and snapped Gato's wrist. As he tried to strike Zabuza with his cane, he left rather angrily, saying that they would pay for their insolence. Zabuza finally noticed a fox plushie carrying the basket. He snapped his gaze around trying to find the one who owned said doll, as Naruto appeared from the wall, startling Zabuza, but he could sense no ill intent from the boy. As Naruto held out his hand in a peaceful gesture before he spoke, I simply wanted to thank you for giving me such a good challenge. It's been well over half a year since I had such a fight, said Naruto. Plus, I thought you would honor when you agreed to a water fight, instead of using your silent killing technique on me. Zabuza grinned, showing off pointed teeth, as a massive bandage was absent. Sure thing, brat, he said. Only Haku can keep up with me when I start to use water jutsus, but yours are more destructive. As Naruto picked up his doll and handed the basket to Haku, as he sat at the edge of the bed. I'm a destruction specialist. Haku has real talent though, but not in the battlefield. She seemed a bit too gentle for that. However, when I was training with my mentor for a while back, she told me something that holds true to Haku. Anyone can destroy, but only true, skilled people can heal. At the time, I thought she was talking about the control required for the healing techniques, but now I think I understand what she meant. It's easier to heal someone and not think twice about it, but it's harder to heal the wounded. It took you long enough to figure out that. She was always talking and telling you stories about her friends, and you just realized that now. Say Kurama. As Naruto glanced down towards him, no more ear scratches until we return back to Konoha for that. Plus, you're not supposed to talk around other people. As Kurama froze, his eyes tearing up, to hear that he wouldn't be getting any more scratches. As he seemed like he was about to cry, his ears lay back at his head, his tails dropped. As Haku looked towards the adorable fox toy. I noticed your doll can move, but I didn't know it could talk. My doll has a soul, but since it's a Kyuubi doll, I normally wouldn't let him talk around people in Konoha, since they want to tear him from limb to limb, seeing that he resembled a fox, you know, said Naruto, as Haku took the doll in her arms, as she squeezed it into a hug. Anyway, I came to tell you that Hatake is trying to teach my idiot teammates to prepare for a second battle. But should he ask me to train the Uchiha again, well, I promise I will turn him into a statue. The man has absolutely no honor. He tried to steal my techniques while we were fighting. Thankfully, he was too busy staring at me to steal your jutsus. Zabuza was confused. What kind of teacher go behind the back of their own student to steal their own jutsus? That made no sense. And this was not what he was getting from the famous copy ninja Kakashi. Unfortunately though, they still had to attack the bridge builder because it was their job. But that didn't mean that Naruto had to let them die. As he took Kurama and made his way back, Kurama was muttering about crazy ice bitches and killer hugs of doom as he had been squeezed so hard. As Naruto returned back home, the next morning 8 AM, Naruto awoke to a woman screaming. It sounded oddly like Tsunami as he made his way. Iniri was rushing forward with a butcher knife in his hand, rushing towards the two men that was holding on to his mother. As Naruto looked towards the suicidal boy, it seems he loved his mother more than he thought, willing to lay his life down that easily because he would definitely die. "Break," said Naruto. As the group paused when he jumped through the window, the samurai was about to say something, but they found their legs and their arms stiffening as they could not move them. They start to feel a terrifying sensation in their body, becoming stone solid. Iniri and Tsunami looked forward as they were seeing two statues standing there. They were petrified, as Naruto then kicked both statues, destroying them into dust. He undid her bindings and he gave her a slight smile. "Do not feel bad for them. For their crimes they deserve it," said Naruto. "Take care of Iniri," Tsunami-san said Naruto as he made his way off. At the bridge, Haku was currently in the ice mirrors that Sasuke was currently trapped in. She was currently moving from mirror to mirror, throwing volley of needles towards the boy, trying not to kill him if she had to. Sakura was protecting Kazuna, and Kakashi was clashing against Zabuza. The moment Sasuke unlocked his Sharingan, he believed that he had won. To prove him wrong, she threw needles into his neck, put him to a near-like dead state. She wasn't ready to do her first kill yet, especially on someone as arrogant as him. As he collapsed, as Naruto appeared inside, she was surprised. But Naruto looked towards Sasuke as he whistled, before he gave her a slight bow. "Haku Dono," he said, "I bow to your greatness of shutting up, Uchiha-sama." She gave a soft laugh. It was then that they heard, "Summoning, Earth Element, Tracking Fang's technique," as Kakashi summoned his hounds of dogs. Zabuza was captured as they all bite into him, but Naruto grabbed onto Haku's hand, so she wouldn't move off. "Haku-san, please allow me the honors of screwing up this attempt on your mentor's life. If my senses are correct, Goto is heading this way, with a large force of mercenaries, and I don't think that near for us," said Naruto. "You need to be in top condition just in case." With that said, the fox toy jumped down as it landed right at Naruto's feet. A violent aura started to swirl around Naruto as Kakashi bragged about his technique. "Blisagi," said Naruto, as he focused on the spot right in front of Zabuza. As Zabuza thought that he was Haku, but ice crystal exploded out right there and formed a thick wall that Ishidori could not pierce. The lightning faded from Kakashi's hand as he searched for the source. Before he could find the source, though, clapping could be heard. Goto, along with 300 mercenaries, were on the other side of the bridge. Haku threw a senbon as it hit the summoning scroll. The dogs poofed away. Zabuza stood as he glared at Goto, asked him what was he doing here with a force like that. He told him that they weren't doing their job correctly, so he was gonna have them all killed. Haku moved towards Zabuza's side. She started to patch up his wounds with a quick healing technique. Kakashi told him that the mission was over. After all, they didn't have to fight any longer because Goto has now turned his sights on all of them to die. "I will take care of them. Hatake, you go take care of Sasuke. He's in a near-like dead state. And Sakura is currently crying her eyes out at his corpse. I also think that she might want to preserve his body and take it away to keep as a souvenir, so you might want to hurry." Kakashi's head snapped up in shock and fear as he rushed over there. As Zabuza and Haku were snickering at the thought. "Allow me to do this," said Naruto. "At the moment I'm not sure I get the concept, but I believe I want to protect you both. I suppose you could say that you both have earned my respect and have been added to my short list of precious people." Before waiting for a reply, he stepped forward, about 30 feet away from the mobster. Sasuke was woken up by Kakashi. The villagers came, as they were brought here by Inari, as everyone felt something as they turned their gaze. As the era around Naruto started to become dark, his hair started to rise and rise until it was shooting straight up. "Your arrogance and greed sicken me," said Naruto. "Prepare yourself, because I will not show any mercy." As Goto laughed at that, asking what a girly boy would be able to do to him and his paid mercenaries. "Ultima," said Naruto as he brought his arms down. The scenery descended into darkness for all. Odd flickers of light flashed violently as they all formed around. Got one of his mobs. It formed a spear before it condensed, and it brightened and brightened and brightened. It then imploded. Got when the others tried to move, but it was too late as the energy surged inside the spear that they were trapped in. Screams could be heard as they were all eviscerated. Their bodies, their remains were all incinerated. The bridge was completely unharmed except for the few drops of blood. Well, more like a sea of blood that splashed over it from their bodies being shredded down. As the onlookers were shocked, as Naruto scooped up his plushy toy that was in front of him. They deserved it, he said, as he walked off. Time skip. They were just about to leave, as Haku approached and whispered something in Naruto's ear. As Naruto brightened and gave her a hug, she then went into a mirror as she left with Zabuza to continue wondering. When asked later about what she told him, Naruto said that she gave him a good hint. On their way back to Konoha though, they ran into a bit of trouble as they stepped in the clearing where Naruto and Zabuza had fought. Two ninjas approached. One was a rather tall blue man with sharp-like features, and the other one is a short one, as he was well recognized by Kakashi and Sasuke it seems. Not to mention he also looked like Sasuke, except he had stressed lines in his face. But his eyes were already activated with the 3 Tomo spinning in it. The slash Konoha headband sealed a deal. This man was Itachi Uchiha. Naruto figured that this would be funny as hell, and also pissed Sasuke off, as he snapped his gaze towards Itachi. Before snapping his gaze back towards Sasuke, he then struck a thinking pose with the doll on top of his head, and for a moment he became a fanboy. "You never told me you're the evil older brother," he said, as that shocked everyone, as it got a rather good laugh from Naruto. But Sasuke lost it. Itachi as he rushed forward. Itachi backhanded him away like it was nothing. Kakashi and Sakura rushed over, as Naruto had to put Kurama in his arms to stifle the laughter that Kurama was breaking out into. "So I'm guessing that you two need something with me," said Naruto. "Judging by the clothing, I guess you're with the Akatsuki." The both of them nodded, a little shocked by the rapid mood swing of him just being a fanboy one moment, as Sasuke had hit the tree and he was knocked out cold. "So, what do you need?" said Naruto. Itachi was the one that spoke. His voice was soft, but there was this tone of authority that came with it. "We need you to come with us, Naruto-kun, as we are interested in your bijou." As Naruto looked down before he held the plush toy out, Itachi raised his eyebrow in confusion. "I had him seal away in this doll when I was 3 years old. If you're gonna take him somewhere, I'm coming with you, because he get pissed when I'm not there, and I control. Is yokai usage," said Naruto. Kisame started to snicker at that. Itachi kept his composure. The plush toy on the other hand did find this funny, as he flicked his tail in agitation. "There's no way I'm going anywhere without the brat. I'm having too much fun of being his weapon of mass destruction, damn it." Kisame burst out laughing. So it was true. The great Kyuubi was sealed away in a plush toy? How was that even possible? "We may have to come back to speak to you once again after we speak to our leader. He only wanted the power of the bijou, but since Yearn is extracted and sealed into a doll, I suppose we could use you as a member, provided that you want to join us." Said Naruto. "Will I get to wear an awesome hat like that?" said Naruto, as he was wearing a straw hat in his head. "Oh yeah, and I want a smaller one for the Kyuubi." Itachi seemed to lose his composure at that, as his lip twitched a bit like he wanted to laugh, as Kisame was laughing up a storm. Before he simply nodded, "Kisame, come." And with that they vanished. A few seconds later, Kakashi arrived with the unconscious Sasuke in his arms, followed by Sakura, who was worried, even though Kakashi told her that he would be fine. Kakashi asked where they go. Naruto shrugged. He didn't know. As the group made their way back to Konoha, as Naruto was in deep thought the entire way. Time skip. Hokage's office. Harrison cursed as Naruto appeared in a thunder of lightning, causing all the papers to be knocked over on the floor. He glared at the evil paper. It was like it wanted to fall. "Naruto-kun," he said, "you're back early. Was something wrong with the wave mission?" As Naruto shook his head, he told the old man what happened, and told him about the Akatsuki members. He told him that 2 Akatsuki members arrived, and they want to take him away, but he distracted them. Well, it was half the truth. "This is grave news indeed," Harrison thought. "I don't know," said Naruto. "I may have to ask about joining them. You see, they have these really awesome hats." as Hiruzen blinked several times to see if Naruto was joking or not, but he was really thinking it over. Sometimes he wondered if Naruto was crazy, because it was hard to tell if he was being sarcastic or not. Time skip. Naruto had enough. He finally had enough. He was doing something so twisted, something so dangerous, something that would have the likes of Orochimaru squealing in fear and fright. He was gonna find out what the hell Kakashi looked like under that mask. If his theory was correct, he realized this would be the ultimate blackmail material. There was probably only two definitions of him hiding his face. One, he looked absolutely hideous under the mask, so Naruto was gonna take photos and spread it around. Or perhaps he had a rather unmanly tattoo on his face. It seemed far-fetched, but, well, that was his theory. Either way, that goddamn mask was gonna go. And so started what would later be known through the histories of the time when a 15-year-old genin decided to embark on a triple S-rank mission to unmask Kakashi Hatake as he packed his camera and his plush toy on his head as he headed out to embark on this dangerous mission. "If anything happened to you," said Grandma, "I want to tell you that you're like the son, apprentice, and sibling I never had. And I'm proud of you. And I'm proud that you inherited my fighting and sadistic spirit. Oh, and when you see Lulu on the other side, tell her that I am angry for her calling me fluffy still." As Naruto nodded and gave him a reassuring hug as he made his way out Konoha streets, Naruto had spoke to Sarutobi, who asked him if he was mad. Not even he had seen what under that mask. But after a while of thinking, he decided to tell Naruto where Kakashi was, as today was his day off. He could find him at the Memorial Stone. As Hiruzen realized, what the hell am I going to tell Jiraiya when he asks where Naruto is, so that he can train him? My student can't train someone that is dead. Damn it, this means more paperwork. At the Memorial Stone, as Naruto landed on a tree branch, as he studied his sensei. The man wouldn't be that bad if he didn't have that retarded grudge against him. Well, that wasn't entirely true. He was still a hypocrite, who didn't follow his own saying of, "Those who break the rules are trash, but those who abandon their comrades are even worse than trash." And he was also a thief. Come to think of it, he was rivals with my guy. As Naruto wondered how many taijutsu style he learned quickly from his sparring with the Jonin. Poor man. Not even his youthfulness can save him from the Sharingan. "What the hell? Did I just say youthfulness?" said Naruto. "Huh. Seems like I'm going crazy too." As Naruto wondered what he would look like in green spandex, as he shivered, and the thought popped into his head. Hideous. But the idea popped into his head as a wicked smirk came on his face. Time skip guy, living quarters. It was rather easy to disable the traps and system in Guy's apartment. It wasn't really much that people that want to kill Guy, so he didn't really have that much secure. Or perhaps they were too afraid of his living quarters. After all, if he was so eccentric in real life, what would his home look like? The place was painted in green, just like his spandex suit. And he had at least 100 weights all over the place. There were a few books on muscle training and taijutsu exercises, as there was a book. And there was also papers, a lot of them. As Naruto made his way across to see that Guy was writing a book, a training manual to be exact, on the use of the celestial gates, their pros and cons. However, the first rule was that you had to wear a green bodysuit, a part of your training, and the title was a bit off. You and your youthfulness. A guide to your springtime of youth, using the celestial gates, by Mike Guy. Kurama shivered as he thought, if this book was actually spread around and people start getting infected by it, as an idea popped into his head. As he watched, kid after kid got hit by the book and they turned into an exact copy, all of them shouting youth. As Naruto continued on his search, as he finally found the man's closet, he took several deep breaths before he slid the door open with a feeling of dread, as Naruto almost collapsed with shock. Guy had normal clothing. Not just any normal clothing, but actually stylish, normal clothing. Sure, there was around 5 spandex bodysuits, but the rest of the closet was filled of great clothing. Kurama fell off Naruto's head in shock as Naruto caught him in his arms. Naruto's respect for the man went up several notches, as the first phase of his plan to get to the Hatake was complete. as he set off the Team 9 training ground as he wanted to ask the man a few questions. Time skip, Naruto appeared in a swirl of snow, shocking the team there. He has been working on his ice manipulation after Hawkwood gave him a hint. Much to his delight, Naruto really loved teleportation techniques. After all, he had a Thunder Shunshin, he had a Snow Shunshin, a Fire Shunshin, and a lot more. He really loved them. As Guy regarded the newcomer that just appeared in the center of the field. Guy had heard about Kakashi's eccentric student, but seeing and hearing are two different things entirely. Firstly, the boy was obviously advanced as he had a flawless Shunshin. To be able to put elemental affinity in his Shunshin, that was incredible for someone his age. Guy had seen some weird things growing up as a ninja, so he disregarded the fox splash on his head, as he decided to give Naruto the benefit of the doubt. After all, Guy was not like most people. Tenten, on the other hand, was intrigued with the newcomer. She had heard from several loose-tongued villagers around the village that there was a blonde-haired demon walking around, but she hadn't seen anything wrong with Ino Yamanaka, aside from her squealing and her acting like a fangirl. Other than the Yamanaka clan, Naruto was the only other person with blonde hair, so this was probably the person that they were talking about. She expected him, as she looked him over, taking in all details of him. He didn't have the bulk that Guy or Lee had. He was more on the flexible side, as she could see quite well. His long golden blonde hair doesn't seem to be on a high priority list, but it was well kept and cared for. She wondered though if he had long hair like that and didn't worship it, like others do. Why did he keep it at such a length? It could be a hindrance in battle. Neji had pale lavender eyes, but his Naruto's eyes were a shade of purple that she had never seen in the eyes before. It was like they were a jewel, and like they were shining right in front of her. His clothing also shaped weird, but she had seen weirder clothing. Yes, a lot weirder. And she could swear that the doll just smiled at her. But it was just a plushy doll, right? So he couldn't move. Lee, on the other hand, was happy. This newcomer just popped in without him even noticing. He must be quite skilled to just drop in like that. It is a chance to spar with someone different, as Lee was ready for the challenge. Neji, on the other hand, took in Naruto. His thought varied from the others. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications to stay posted. Remember to share all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was from all the clans and was taken by Obito over on Anime King 3. And over Anime King 2, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto was banished to the Forbidden Lands. So go ahead and enjoy that guys. And if you're new, yes, I did have 3 channels, and Making 2 and Making 3, which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and enjoy those. I'm off now. See you guys soon. Peace.